delighted today to be joined by Africa Sport Network Managing Director, Asher Thierry Alon. Welcome, Asher. Good to have you here with me.
Good morning, Paolo. Nice to be here. Thanks.
Great, great. So today we're going to discuss the new partnership between Prepay Nation and Africa Sport Network, which we briefly announced recently. But look, the partnership is one thing, which of course we're both delighted of. But most importantly, I want to share and have Asher, more importantly, share, of course, the Africa Sport Network, the vision you had behind forming this organization, etc. So maybe we can start there, Asher. Could you perhaps share a bit about the vision behind Africa Sport Network, how it was evolved over the years, and your inspiration behind creating this first and only Pan-African sports news network? Yeah.
So it became as a necessity that by living in Africa, I was consuming, of course, sports content from Eurosport that happens in Europe, and ESPN that happens in North America, and there was nothing around. And we were just looking and couldn't find anything that's produces and showcases the local content in terms of sport, while sport in Africa is practically a religion. Everybody follows sport, everybody practice sport, each person has its favorite club, and there is absolutely zero attention to it and zero content. And we said, okay, here is a business plan, here is the business opportunity. And recreated it as a sports news network, coming to showcase all the African sport to the world. Of course, bringing also international sport news to Africa, because we can't ignore that our African audience is still following whatever happens all over the world. And from there, we actually evolved into streaming. We said, okay, if we are doing news, will makes a lot of sense that if we are going to the next step and becoming this streaming network. And that's what led us to start purchasing rights of various leagues around Africa and other generic sport from the world that we can broadcast to Africa that is not broadcasted at the moment. And that's the vision behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, yeah, I think that you're right. I mean, for many years, African sport was kind of a well-kept secret outside of Africa, right? But when you're there, you see the passion and let's say the involvement of the community behind the sport, and that's at, let's say, a domestic level, right? But then the next step is obviously serving this diaspora of African that have left their home country that are still connected to the sport, right? Which is really how we met, Asher, right? Is
Exactly.
as you know, Prepay Nation is an organization that is has focused on serving diaspora around the world with various products, and this was kind of the birth of our partnership. Really was, how can we take valuable content, let's say, and serve that to the African diaspora around the world. So let's talk a little bit about that from your perspective. What motivated you as Africa Sport Network to partner with Prepay Nation? How does this partnership meet your goals, let's say, in expanding your viewership, right?
Yeah, so it goes without saying, we have there is a huge migration from Africa to the other parts of the world, mostly Europe and North America. Currently, as per statistics, roughly 250 million Africans that lives outside of Africa, and they are still very patriotic about their country, about their continent, and they still follow up on the news and the happenings and the social networks of what's going on back home. And the communities are usually very strong. And we said, okay, this is an essential part of our business plan from two aspects. One, this crowd, they will want to consume their African sport wherever they are. Secondly, the Africans in the diaspora are very supportive of their families and relatives and friends in the continent. And they are sending a lot of remittance support via various channels. And this is why Prepay Nation are in the game. And we said, okay, let's be this added value by allowing our Africans in the diaspora to, first of all, consume the content themselves. Secondly, to purchase content for their relatives in Africa that they have a very low buying power. And this is where the cooperation between Africa Sport Network and Prepay Nation came to the world. Having said that, we kept our pricing model very modest, very affordable, not saying, okay, now it's going to be paid by someone in the US or someone in Europe, so let's push the price and match it to other streaming networks. So we kept the price very low, assuming that this is part of our support of the African sport and part of our contribution to this amazing culture.
Very nice. Yeah. Look, I think the alignment is fantastic. Prepay Nation, we're in our 15th year of operation now, and we've built this network around the world of customers that are, originally mobile network operators, and then resellers, and then all the way up to digital apps, etc. Right? But the core of our business has always been, facilitating diaspora around the world to be able to recharge the phones, with voice or SMS or data minutes, etc., back home, so they could stay connected. Perhaps we can talk a little bit about this idea that you and I have been working on around how we can leverage those relationships we have with network operators and customizing, data bundles now with content that is, unique and valuable coming from Africa Sport Network. Yeah. Now that we're at the launch of the season, so it's exciting time.
Yeah, so the launch of a season is always an exciting time, and this season we're going to air only from Nigeria, between 8 to 10 live matches every weekend. There are 10 matches altogether in the league every weekend, so we're going to air 8 to 10 out of them. Depending sometimes on location or sometimes maybe security aspects. So we're trying to get to all the stadiums. And I believe we will do that for the most part. So roughly 380 matches this season coming only from Nigeria live. And later on, of course, our subscribers can consume it off live. And then this is generating a whole new ecosystem for remittance companies, for the mobile telecom operator that is creating a volume of consumption that never existed before.
Correct. Oh, look, I think it's very exciting. I mean, as we speak, obviously, to our customers that have, large consumer bases of diaspora around the world, we speak to them about how now we can be creative with the leveraging our relationships with the mobile network operators around the world and saying, look, we can do something now that we can provide not only a 5 gigabyte or 2 gigabyte data package upload, let's say, to send back home to your friends and family, but what about if we added on to that this weekend's matches, right? Or the next month of matches in the Nigerian Football League, or whatever it may be, right? So this starts to become not only, let's say, that staying connected, but also staying connected from a deeper sense, not just data connectivity, but also community connectivity, right? As everybody can watch the match together, etc., and really, let's say, enjoy. For those diaspora abroad, to stay connected with what they love, and also for their friends and family back home, being able to, let's say, leverage, obviously, your content and enjoy that as well. So it's very exciting. From a future plans perspective, next steps, any things that we should be looking forward to and over the next coming weeks. As you said, we're at the launch now of the new season. So tell me, what are your plans?
So short-term plans. So we had the first match of the season just aired last weekend. Very successful. I guess we will be showing some highlights later on. And we have our upcoming remaining matches on the 7th of September, just upcoming weekend for the first match day. So this is Nigeria. Currently, we're airing Nigerian Football League, the Premier League of Nigeria. We are in process on the midterm of acquiring more leagues, of course, in Africa. So we're in process currently of purchasing rights in any country that we can enter. And if we look on 3 years from now, we are looking at a network that will have roughly 20, 25 leagues, maybe 30 leagues altogether, going towards having all the leagues of African countries. So there are 51 countries in Africa. So that's the goal, to have the whole bouquet of all the leagues, men, women, not only football, so football and basketball and cricket and you name it, any sports that brings crowd and crowd likes, we are targeting to purchase. So the activity is there's still a lot to do, a lot of rights to negotiate and purchase. And later on, it's to bring content from around the world to be able to stream to Africa, to the African continent, in an affordable way that will allow our customers that has a relatively low buying power to stream sports from all over the world in an affordable way. This is it.
Yeah. Look, I think it's fantastic. I mean, starting with Nigerian football alone is great because it's a very exciting league, right? As you said, many matches throughout the year, lots to follow, and incredible talent, right? But yes, I'm sure you have your work cut out for you. Let's say to as you said, it's a long and arduous task to negotiate rights, etc., to build out that network. But the reality is that there's so much content there, right? So much valuable content for consumers that want access to, and I think that you're really on a very exciting path. And Prepay Nation, of course, very happy to be a part of it, to get the word out there and assist you with your distribution. And as I said, partner with the network operators and resellers that we have around the world in order to make sure that the African diaspora is aware of this and leverages it, right? It's as I said, it's such a great way for communities to stay connected to their home country, not only from a technological perspective, but from a content perspective, right? Which is what we're very excited about. So yes, my congratulations to you, Asher, and the team at Africa Sports Network. I really think it's a very exciting step for us to be associated with you, and we really look forward to great things and to a very exciting season ahead. As you said, first match was great. We'll put some highlights following this to show a little bit of that first fantastic match and many exciting matches to come. So thank you, Asher. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll have another update for the public soon, right? As we add more and more networks and more content, etc., out there to our offering. Okay.
Exactly. So first of all, Paolo, thanks a lot, and Prepay Nation team did an amazing job for our integration and making our systems communicate between them. And yes, we're definitely looking to have more leagues even before this year. And we will be there to communicate it.
Okay. More to come. I'm very excited.
Definitely.
Okay.